Oh my God, we're here with actual rock and roll legend in town, Miss Gerald-Jenn. Is that what
Gerry-Jenn in the house?
Is that what the Jerry stands for?
Yeah.
Gerald?
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Gerry-Jenn has been in so many bands. I first met you back in Cane Toad days, but since then you did...
Since the Cane Toads, it's
JP5.
been Spank Machine.
Currently, it is the East Vamps. The East Vamps are still rocking, right?
East Vamps are still rocking. Black Eye Buddha with the ex-members of Sons of Freedom. The big shoulda, coulda, woulda. And there's several others.
Crash.
48 Crash, a Susie Quattro, Vancouver's one and only a Susie Quattro tribute band. The Bad People with Sir Billy Hopeless and crew.
Oh, that's the Cramps.
The Cramps
cover band.
tribute band.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and of course, the Brain Eater Clubhouse is always alive and well.
So you've done a lot of rocking.
Done a lot of rocking since I moved here in '91.
Stories you could tell
with Miss Bif Naked.
That's right. You and Bif came from Winnipeg.
That's true.
Good.
Nice place to grow up. Good place to leave.
Right.
And a lot of great musicians are based from Winnipeg.
So you immigrated. From Winnipeg.
Went to Calvin High, Neil Young's high school, and came here with,
Neil Young's from Winnipeg?
He is.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I always associated him with L.A.
Portage and Maine, 50 below.
Oh, okay.
With Randy Bachman.
When you were in Winnipeg, I guess you would have been a teenage
I was a
punk
teenager,
rocker.
And I formed my first garage rock band, Hypnotic Whale, with my sister. And we were totally obsessed with bands like The Seeds, The Cramps, the Sonics, and it was a small town, and the wanderlust took hold, and Vancouver, the West Coast, beckoned.
Well, everyone ends up moving here because this is the only place to go in Canada. You just kind of
Hollywood North, and
you just keep going west.
Keep going west.
Yeah. But back in Winnipeg, so you were in like garage rock bands.
Yes.
There.
I moved to Montreal before that.
My God,
I went to
really?
England. My first introduction to punk rock was walking in Toronto. I was on a stopover. I was going to London, England, and Sam the Record Man was having a record signing, and it just happened to be the Ramones.
Oh my God.
And so I bought their first album and met them all, and they put me on the guest list for their show this is in 1986.
Oh my God.
I'm dating myself.
You're dating yourself.
Yeah. So that was and it was really cool. Like it just just blew my mind seeing that concert. It verified that I really wanted to do that thing, and I was going to live out my punk rock fantasy in England, and of course in 1986 punk rock was very much over. Well, but it never really ends, does it? What goes around comes around.
So okay, I never knew this. So you went? Did you go to London or?
I went to England.
How long did you last?
I was there for a year.
Yeah,
I was there for a whole year.
It's a tough move. I attempted it in 1998.
Yeah,
and I think I didn't make it through the year because it's just too expensive. London.
Yes, I was a Chelsea girl to boot, so I was on a student work abroad program, so I lucked out there.
So you must have had to have like 3 jobs just to pay your rent, right?
Or at least 5 roommates. Something like that.
Right.
Well, Vancouver, hello.
Well, now we're in that situation, but
not so bad. It's not quite 3 million people and
all in one room.
Mile. All in one room.
Yeah. So you were in London, and then what did you do?
That was exciting. I was going to shows. I was really involved in the psychobilly scene.
I guess so, because Psychobilly would have been alive.
There's a club called the Klub Foot.
Right. Yeah,
and Iguana Bats, Demented Argo. It was quite an exciting time there for rockabilly, and So yeah, I was turned on to a lot of.
While you were there, did you play in
I
bands,
wasn't
or?
playing in bands when I was there. It
You
was
would've
when
been
I got back to Winnipeg that I formed my first
teenager
band.
still,
yeah,
weren't you?
I was only like 17.
Yeah.
And 18 by the time I formed Hypnotic Whale, and I decided in 91 to get out of Dodge and.
We just played some Billy Childish. Wasn't he hanging out?
Yeah, you would think
period?
so.
Did you meet him and his mustache?
I didn't meet the mustache man, but I have met Burton Cummings.
Oh my
A
God,
few
that's right.
times.
He's from Winnipeg.
Winnipeg too.
Yeah, the Guess Who.
You know, he has his own way to rock.
Roll.
And so
Yeah.
do you, Gerry-Jenn.
Thank you, dear. We've got history ourselves with, back in the outrageous Valentino days.
Not familiar with them. I want to play one of your songs. This is the East Vamps, and okay, wait. Is the East Vamps? Is there a new album coming out, or did it
There
just
is
come
an
out?
album that just came out called All Hits, No Misses.
All hits, no misses.
Even I've played
spelled
stuff off it.
MRS. Yes.
MRS.
Yes.
Yeah, and people can go find this. Is this?
Online, probably.
This is you can find it on CD Baby. That's our distribution company, and it's online. So have fun with it.
Have fun with
Rock and roll.
it. Okay, we're going to listen to one song, and then you can tell me about the song after. Okay? This is East Vamps.
Hello, this is Gorgeous. Anybody out there read me? 10-4, my handle's Gorgeous. Pretty banking, eh? 10-4, buddies. Destroy. Kill all hippies. I'm not talking at you. I'm talking to you. Anarchy. Disco sucks. I don't want to hear about you. I want to hear from you. Subvert normality.
Sub what normalities? Gorgeous, you're just a crazy little kid. Tell me, what's this pretty bacon? Over?
Enemy, running on empty, burning another hole in my side. Four walls are drinking up a terrible stench. These concrete halls, they be soaking up the lines, yeah. In a stinking box, the band's afraid it'll never stop. Junkie popper, jumping ball, everything that I got. In the stinking box. Gotta get out of this place, it's less than we're up to. Tired of this black class, following you. There's a hole in the wall, the bad moon on the rise. Kissing on me and it's hurting inside, yeah. In the stinking box, the band's afraid it'll never stop. It's the last time we ever get sucking down in this stinking box. This is Gorgeous signing off.
That was East Vamps with Stink in Box. Is
That's
is the
right.
title?
Yeah, we actually the intro was a sound bite from Out of the Blue, which was filmed in Vancouver
1980, yeah.
1980 with Dennis Hopper, featuring the fabulous Pointed Sticks.
Who are playing here in December?
Yeah,
What
they're
is
the
it?
Fox,
I think they're
Fox
playing at the
Cabaret.
Fox.
Forgot what day it was, though.
Yeah.
They're still alive and well, and huge in Japan, and legends in these parts and beyond. And so, I always loved that intro to the movie. It's just a natural born rebel character.
Yeah, December 16th, Fox Cabaret. Just wanted to get that in. That's where the Pointed Sticks are.
So that was off of the East Vans. It's like or East Vamps. It's kind of like a greatest hits compilation, isn't it?
It is. It features a lot of musicians. Like we have Tony Baloney on guitar, And that was pretty cool, having him in the
Well,
studio
you
with
worked
us.
with Tony Baloney before.
In 48
Going back.
Crash, that's true.
Because he was a member of 48 Crash. And
Yes.
I remember I played one. There was this thing called Budstock.
Budstock,
Way back in the 90s.
Now this is a story to be told.
Right.
Budstock 2, and it's mentioned in Under the Kilt, which is the Chris Walters book about the Real Mckenzies. And essentially what happened is, and also to mention Aaron Chapman, who has a book out now called The Last Gang in Town,
Which is
about the Clark
about
Parkers.
Clark Parkers, right.
And the Clark Park gang showed up at the Commodore Ballroom for the, I guess, sole purpose to
Kicking
beat
some
up
ass.
on a punk rock butt. And I guess they weren't a big fan of the Budstock lineup because
Why?
they started throwing beer bottles, and a big riot ensued.
But
And
you guys played, right?
we were on stage when this riot was happening.
Oh, well, because
And-
I remember Sexplosion played, and that was my kind of gay disco band, right?
Right.
And then I guess you guys came on after
Yeah,
me.
and we got caught in the crossfire of
Right.
all of this mayhem, which was crazy. I mean, 13 people ended up in St. Paul's Hospital, and
So did you get involved? And
oh well,
Get in
you know,
there,
I
get
dodged a few beer bottles that were flying on stage, but you know, in the end, it was they call it Bloodstock.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last Bloodstock that ever happened, unfortunately, because it was quite a wild ride when it.
in your career, have you played a lot of bar brawls?
bar brawls.
No.
Well, we toured with D.O.A. Let's just put it that
okay.
way.
Tell me about that.
Well,
when was this?
we've done South by Southwest tours in JP5 with D.O.A. on Sudden Death Records.
Right.
And Joe Keithley, of course, is just inducted into the BC Entertainment Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right.
He's got
You were
his
there.
big star
So-
on the Granville Mall Strip, Hollywood North.
How many stars are there?
Well, he's right next to DJ Jazzy B.
Who the hell is that?
Nardwar was there, and he was like, Jazzy B, Joey Shithead. Wow.
Where's your star?
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. I'm getting nominated. If it's that easy, let
So JP5 toured with D.O.A. and this must have been in the 90s.
this
at
was
some
this
point.
was in the 2000s.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, yeah. We were we just put out our CD Hot Box,
Okay.
which is available on Sudden Death Records, and with the fabulous Miss Lagaya, who is now playing
new
in
Brain Eater.
the new Brain Eater. You're in the boy.
I'm in Boy Brain Eater.
Boy
She's
Brain
in girl-
Eater.
New Brain Eater.
New girl Brain Eaters.
And then apparently there's going to be a toddler version.
Toddler.
Yeah,
Toddler.
made up of kids of punk rockers.
That's with Jim Cummings. Nothing would amaze me and surprise me.
Well, he knows how to market.
He knows how to
Market his name.
He's
I wanted to listen. Now JP5 was definitely, it was one of the in the 90s. What would you call it? Post-grunge.
post-grunge.
There, right?
It was
For
power
the
pop.
grunge.
It was it was definitely. I think every musician in town had visited the JP5 arsenal at one point in time. Some great players, Dirty Kurt, of course, James Brander, JT Massacre of Big John Bates has been my solid drummer, rock solid drummer for years, and many other members. So yeah, it's like I say, a long way to the top when you want to rock and roll.
Okay, well, let's listen to this. Because JP5 were, I would say, one of the best bands out of that era, that like 90s Vancouver. I keep
thank
calling
you.
it post-grunge, but I mean, you know, just because Vancouver
Our
missed...
number one fan, Fish and Jim, would agree with you.
Really? Oh, okay.
And Johnny Roman.
And Johnny Roman. So this is for Johnny Roman, Fuzzy Head Pills, JP5.
I'm out of gasoline. Try to
That was JP5 with She Won't Go, and before that we heard Fuzzy Head,
Head pills.
which is about ephedrine.
Ephedrine, yeah, the trucker wake me ups
All
that
right.
we used on the road.
And that was that's out on
That's
Sudden
out
Death,
on Sudden Death Records.
which is Joey Shithead's label.
That's right, and I got to plug Randy Rampage's bio. Also with Chris Walters, I Survived D.O.A. Just played at Pat's Pub in Lanaloo's.
Well, it's a little late to plug that
I
now.
know
if
it's
like,
it's
if
not
it already
really plugging
happened.
it, but support. So, you know, you can buy the book at, I know for a fact, at Bone Rattle on Commercial Drive.
Are you in this book?
Hello, Phil.
I would imagine so, knowing that I survived Sudden Death Records, but
you haven't read it yet.
I'm halfway through.
You were in the Real Mckenzies book, though.
Yeah, I was.
So was I. Wasn't I? Yeah, because I booked them and all.
Yeah,
I had some
well-
stories. But you were actually in the Mainland video.
That's true. That was an exciting video to film on Paul Mackenzie's sailboat in English Bay with the incredible Danny Novak from the Spores
Right.
behind the camera. And he's I think he was just on cinematographer of he got cinematographer of the year.
Didn't Tony Baloney get hauled
he
off?
was. Yeah.
Tony Baloney in the end.
Got
This
injured.
was the surprise part of the end of the video was Tony Baloney getting hauled away in the ambulance because he walked on a rusty nail.
Right.
Arr.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh. Yeah.
Coming aboard, coming aboard. Ah!
Yeah. Ah.
Well, that was a good video, and that really kick-started.
It really
that got
did.
played a lot on Much Music.
It
didn't
got them interest in
And did JP5
American interest. And JP5.
Did you guys ever make a video?
We did Beer Drinking Man Eaters. It was filmed at the House of Pain Wrestling School in Langley. And we were kicking ass and taking names. A tag team match between the crazy Johnny Canuck, some pro wrestlers that we happened to meet along the way.
When was this?
We did rock and roll wrestling for a while at the Columbia back in 2001.
Okay, so I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were
missed all this.
in Hollywood,
So did it?
baby.
Did it actually get played on Much
It did.
Music?
It got a lot of rotation on Much Music.
Cool. And that was
we-
was that when the Sudden Death put out the record? At the
Yeah,
same
that
time?
was at the same time, and we were, doing a lot of touring. North by Northeast, South by Southwest, you name it, we were
Wow.
there, and
So when you toured that, did you go all the way across Canada?
all
Did
the
you
way
play-
across Canada. Never made it to the Maritimes.
What?
What?
How dare you?
Yeah.
So you got as
we
far as
were-
Montreal.
As far as Montreal and back about 5 times, and
Wow.
yeah, it's I was on the TSN off the record with.
What's that?
I know what's that.
Well, I
Off
don't
the
know. I
record.
missed
Sports
this whole
show, some
period.
goofy
It's a
guy
sport
hosting
show with some guy that wears a lot of makeup.
What, and it had something to do
forgot
with...
The funny part about it was like being in the studio. They kept it so cold so that their guest members wouldn't fall asleep because the airing was so early. But, off the record, yeah, it's all on YouTube and everything.
Okay.
JP5, Jet Petroleum.
What does the JP stand for?
Jet Petroleum.
Oh,
It's
jet
the
petroleum.
most volatile grade of jet fuel. The fast, flammable, and furious.
Oh, that
And,
makes sense.
Of course, yeah.
So should we listen to the hit song then? I guess this is the song that's a video has been made, and this way people can listen to this and then they can go search it.
Yeah,
So
they
can
check
put-
out the video.
put a-
It's, if you love wrestling, you're gonna love Beer Drinking Man Eaters.
Yes, to put a face on the name, right? Okay, so this is their hit.
Video hits.
Coming to your town.
That was Gerry-Jenn with her JP5, which means Jet Petroleum.
Jet Petroleum 5.
Okay. The Beer Drinking Man-Eaters, which was a video that you can go check out on the...
on the YouTubes.
On the YouTube.
Yeah.
But apparently it got a bit of Much Music Play back when they did play videos.
Yeah, back in the day.
In the early 2000s, I guess.
That's true.
Is that when they stopped?
It seemed like it was like the mid-2000s that everything kind of came to a grinding halt.
Went to hell,
When rock and roll died.
When rock and roll died.
You know, your voice, it's you have that Joan Jett thing going on.
I've always been
thought.
a big fan of Miss
Did you
Jett.
ever meet her or play with her?
I did meet her, actually, when she played here. Zippy Pinhead from 22nd Century and D.O.A. Legendary drummer, who I believe was on Bad Vibes Radio.
No, he hasn't been yet.
He hasn't?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Donut.
Yeah. It was quite the, I was really...
Were you starstruck?
I was very starstruck. I also got to meet another idol of mine, Iggy Pop, at the Commodore when he played, and he pulled me up for the encore, The Passenger.
When was this?
This
at
was
the Wild American,
probably Wild American
at the Commodore.
At the Commodore,
Yeah.
and he didn't disappoint. Of course, the Lick the Pole girls moved in on they were my competition.
That Rebecca
Yeah, and Jules.
and Jules.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to deal with both of them.
Oh, well, it
I
was
remember
all good.
I opened for Joan Jett.
You did?
Oh yeah, at 86th Street.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and okay, we opened for her. She hit on my girlfriend at the time.
Well, there you go.
Laura. But Laura didn't go for it.
The same thing happened with me, but okay.
But this is weird.
True confessions of a rock and roll trash maven.
This is weird, but like a month later, we get this call, and they're like, "Who is this?" And we're like, "I was living with Joel," and I was like, "Oh, this is Joel and Mark or whatever, right?" Or Joel answered, and it's like, "Yeah, we've been touring America, and we've been really listening to this tape over and over again, and there was no band name. It just says Joel and Mark and a phone number. So this was like our favorite tape on the tour
tape.
bus, and it turned out to be us."
That's fantastic.
Yeah. That was Kenny Laguna who called
Kenny
us.
Laguna.
Yeah. Did you ever meet him? He was a funny guy.
I've heard many stories, but have never met Kenny Laguna.
So
I have met
Joan Jett tried to pick you up.
Yeah, that was.
So what hapappened?
Yeah,
You didn't go
you know
for
what?
it?
I didn't switch teams.
Nope.
I held out. In hindsight, perhaps I made a grave error.
Okay.
But I'd love to be on Blackheart Records, and I'll always
Do you think
support her.
it does I guess Blackheart would still exist, wouldn't it?
It does.
Okay, well, Spank Machine.
Now, Spank Machine was a
Tell me about
wild
Spank
band.
Machine.
That was in 1992, and that was with Annie Kidd, and we had after a date with some hallucinogenic mushrooms, I came up with the concept of this Spank Machine being Betty Page's ultimate empowerment device, and I ended up meeting all these dominatrixes shortly thereafter. David Ogilvy, very awesome producer who I love working with, who I worked with in Black Eye Buddha.
Right.
9 Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson.
So Spank Machine was kind of a gothic dominatrix thing.
Yeah, we had a dominatrixes on stage, and willing volunteers from the audience would come up on stage and get
Spanked.
the spanked and flogged and all the punishment they could bear.
Wow.
While we played our 4 chords to California and back. You know, where it was quite the short-lived band, short but sweet, but producers Stokely Sipes and Cecil English are talking about releasing the Spank Machine CD.
So Spank Machine
20 years after.
20 years after the fact. So you guys did get around to actually recording some
We
music.
did
rather
at
than
Profile
just
Studios.
Spanking boys.
And we also did a wonderful video that.
Oh, that has a video too. So you have quite a few videos.
Yeah, that was at the recorded at the Town Pump on 16 mil back when film was alive and well.
Would have cost like 100 minutes.
It was
bucks a minute.
yeah. There was a lot of bucks involved, and that's
So
the
there
way
is
that
a Spank Machine concert film out there.
there is. There will
Okay.
be soon.
For the perverts.
For all the you preverts out there.
All the preverts.
Preverts.
Okay, so let's
The postverts.
I've actually dug up some Spank Machine because you guys actually recorded something too.
That's true.
Where do you find the time? Here we go. This is Spank Machine.
I believe in what is real. Bad reflections seek to just fire. And all the power that you hold
was JP5 with Prevert, and before that we heard Spank Machine Love Glue, which goes back 20 years. So Gerry-Jenn, we're talking to Gerry-Jenn, music legend. You know, you were the founder of Riot Girl Rock in the city. You know, I mean, yeah, you're quite influential.
Yeah.
What is your take on the state of rock and roll these days? I mean,
it needs a big kickstart. We need nothing short of a miracle. I love the movie Pray for Rock and Roll with Gina Gershon. Mm-hmm. Worth checking out. But yeah, it's up to us to keep the faith and the hope alive that there will be a resurgence of real, unadulterated rock and roll.
Now, you were talking about Randy Rampage has written a book, and the Real Mckenzies have a book out, and you're talking. Are you actually going to do your memoirs?
I'm working on the memoirs because I have many stories to tell. Working title: Roadmap. True Confessions of a Rock and Roll Trash Maven. And of course, I'm no stranger to...
You have written for
I've written for Punk Globe, and I've had my own zine, Trash Maven. So it just seems like a Bif Naked came out with her bio, Ibificus. It's like time to tell the real deal with no holds barred. I think that
so it's a tell-all.
True fans would like to know what actually happens behind all of those miles that are traveled with touring musicians in a van, in a bus, be it as you may. Getting there is half the fun, they say. And there's lots of stories along the way. And as long as I'm represented well. Of course, yeah. That's most important because I remember being your employee for a while.
Really?
At the Licorice Whip. I was your door gal.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Alcoholic Al from...
from the Bludgeon Pigs.
I remember one day he was just at the door, passed out, face down, and the Japanese owner of the place,
that was the old Hollywood North. Yeah,
he's like, Mark, what is this? He was just mortified. And then I think the Real Mckenzies came in and started chucking logs around, like doing the caber toss.
Great caber toss in a very small
and the
cocktail bar. And the Cane Toads were featured there, and we're putting together. To coincide with my bio, the best of all of the all hits, no misses, essentially all of the bands, videos, live footage mixed in with the recordings, and it's Little Guitar Army was another one that band that I had put in some serious time with and wrote their hit songs 30 Watts to Freedom and Can't Fix Stupid.
Wow. So for the time being, we'll be waiting for your memoirs.
Yes.
I think that'll be colorful.
Thanks for the memories.
And we got to sign off because Ken Fisher's giving us the impatient wrap it up.
So people can go out and pick up the JP5 album
on Sudden Death Records, East Vamps on CD, baby.
And the East Vamps are out right now, and so we're gonna
all hits, no misses, baby.
Yeah, we'll get out of here with some East Vamps. Gerry-Jenn, thanks for coming to Bad Vibes and talking with us.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming. And you've been listening to Bad Vibes. Here's the East Vamps.
Brought to you by The Rickshaw, live at therickshaw.com.
owns your radio?
Who 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 owns your radio?
You do.
Vancouver Co-op Radio.
100.5 FM.
CFRO, the People's Radio Station.
We're not owned by the Emperor, so we can say the Emperor has no clothes.
Vancouver Cooperative Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM.